Taking a moment as you do these first set of circles to check in with how everything is feeling today, how your feet feel on the floor, how your back feels, how your arms and shoulders feel as we make these shapes. Let's take another inhale. The arms are going to rise. And exhale, circle round and down, changing direction and going the other way. This direction often feels a little bit stiffer. So give yourself the time that you need to get around those corners. Using your breath to help you find your way. Inhale through those tricky bits at the top. Exhale as your arms come down. Let's have 2 more like this. And then from here, take your arms straight back up the center line. Hold them up, grab onto one of your wrists and lift it higher. And form a side stretch. Feet press into the ground. Inner thighs lift. Low tummy lifts. Breastbone lifts. Armpit lifts. Come back up to the center, circle your arms around and down, give them a shake. And then straight back up the center line to do the other side. So you're going to grab the wrist and lift it. Let's feel which part of your body puts up the most resistance. And then from the ground up, trying to release that resistance by pushing into the ground. Inner thigh lifting, low tummy lifting, breastbone lifting, armpit lifting. Circle all the way around and down, give yourself a shake. And then take your hands and pull back for a pec stretch. Collarbone corners moving wide. Let your shoulder blades feel like they could maybe move a little bit closer together. It's not a squeeze. It's just let them shift if they want to. Give your arms another shake. Let's have a roll down. Bring your chin to your chest. Holding your pelvis upright for as long as you can. Start to fold your body down towards the floor. Bone by bone. Taking your time. Then let your pelvis tip when you feel you can't hold it up any longer. And we're in a full forward bend. It feels like everything falls out the top of my head. My arms dangle. It's okay to bend your knees. And then from there, all the way back up to standing. And the arms are going to go up to the ceiling. One more time. And then circle around, hands on your hips. And from there, some calf raises. Lifting and lowering. So it's always easier to do any form of balance work on a hard floor. So if you're finding this mat a little bit challenging to balance on, feel free to step off onto a surface that's a little bit more stable. When we lift the heels up, it feels like we push all the soft tissue up the legs. I'll say that one more time. When the heels rise, it feels like we push all the soft tissue up the legs. So calf lifts, inner knee lifts, inner thighs lift, quads lift, woo, hamstrings lift, and then the heels go back down. So you may notice that when you put a little bit more effort into lifting each section, you get a little bit higher, a bit more work showing up all over the place. Big toe stays on the ground. So you're going to work hard to keep that in place. And we're going to keep going until the backs of our legs scream at us a little bit. Let's have 4 more like this. And 3. And 2. And last 1. Heels are going to come down, and then you're just going to give your knees a little bend and your legs a shake. Stepping back with one of your feet for a calf stretch. It doesn't matter which one it is. We want both feet pointing straight ahead. I'll turn side on so that you can see the shape. So my front knee is bent, and my back leg is as straight as I feel I can make it. And I'm going to breathe in and out. Pushing my heel down into the ground and trying to form a line from my head through my heart, my hips, all the way down to my heel. And then from there, I'm going to push away, bring my foot back in, another little leg shake, and then stepping back on the other foot. Giving yourself a moment to find your balance. Hips level, pointing forwards. Both feet pointing forwards. Back heel pressing down. And then from there, stepping forward, giving your legs a little shake. And if you happen to have a weight handy, now's the time to get it. So the one that I'm using is 1.25 kilos. So something around about that weight should be fine. And I'm going to use it to help me find my balance. So I've got it in front of me, and I'm going to lift one of my knees up so my foot is off the floor. And straight away, I'm going to push that weight out in front and bring it back. So there's something in the moving weight that will help you find that connection to your center and your balance. Find a spot in the distance to stare at. Helps to keep your head still. On this one, push out and hold, and then making sure you've got a good hold of your weight. We're going to take it up to the ceiling and then bring it back down again. And just like in the warm-up, we're going to time our breath so that when the arms go up, the breath comes in. 3 more like this. And 2. And 1. And then we're going to make it a little bit harder by having one arm go up, one arm go down. So the weight is always going up. And when we bring the hands back to the center, we switch the weight into the other hand and the weight goes up. So by now, your lower leg is potentially going to be aching a little bit. Try to keep your tailbone heavy, low tummy lifted. And it is okay if you wobble to put your foot on the ground to correct yourself. Okay, the last set of 6 movements is the weight goes down and the empty hand goes up. One more on each side. And then back to the center, give your legs a little shake, and we'll put the weight on the floor for a moment while we do a centering exercise, which is a set of squats. Okay, so feet underneath your hips. You can maybe turn your feet out just a fraction if that feels more comfortable for your knees and your hips. And then hands in front as a counterbalance, and you're going to drop your hips back. Okay, so with a squat, we're looking to get a real feeling that our pelvis is reaching back behind us. I'm going to turn side on so that you can see. Popping back and coming up. Step back a touch. So it is okay for your knees to go a little bit forwards, but for the most, that has to be done with control. So you're going to make sure they don't fold forwards too far, and really focus on that feeling of getting your seat out behind you. The ankles fold, the knees fold, the hips fold. 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. All the way back up. Give your legs a little shake. And then from there, fetch your weight again. Come back onto your mat if that's where you were before. And get ready to lift the other leg off the ground. You find your balance and then you'll push away and come back in. Push away and come back in. And I'm really hoping I've picked up the correct leg. I'm having a bit of a daft day today and I can't remember which leg I just did. So it should be your second leg. Okay, let's have 2 more. And then you'll hold out in front of you. And that weight's going to go up and then come back down again. I'm definitely on the correct side. A little bit of self-doubt there, but I can feel it now. That's a 3 and 2 and 1. Okay, so you're going to get ready to split the hands. One goes up, one goes down. And then the weight switches hand in front of you. So we do that switch out there for safety, just in case we misjudge it and drop our weight, so that we're not dropping it near ourselves. So make sure that your hand is reliable to take the weight. And then coming to the center, and now the weight's going to go down. And again, that switch is happening directly in front of you. Two more. Last one. And then back to the center, bring your weight down carefully, give your legs a little shake. Okay, so from here, the weight's going to go back down on the floor. We don't need it anymore. And still standing, we're going to take a wide stance and turn the feet out just a little bit. And now we've just got a side to side lunge. So the first few that I do, I've always misjudged how wide the legs should be, and I have to have a bit of a fidget to get the space that I feel like I need. So it's okay to adjust as you go. And then once you've found a good distance for yourself, if you want to make it feel harder, your pelvis goes out behind you as you bring yourself lower into this side lunge. So it's leg work and an inner thigh stretch all in one exercise. And it's up to you how low you go. Just checking in with your own hips and what feels okay. 4 and 3, 2 and 1. Okay, all the way back up to the center. Keep the wide stance. And now we're going to do a roll down towards the floor with this wide stance. Chin to chest and start to fold forwards. All the way down. Everything feels like it falls out the top of your head, so your neck is relaxed. And then I'm going to walk my hands around to one leg. A bit of a stretch. And then across to the other side. And then back to the center. Tailbone under and rolling all the way back up. And then once you're up, heel, toe, heel, toe, all the way back in. I'm going to turn myself so that my mat is now in front of me. And it's a standard roll down, chin to chest, fold forwards. And then once we're down there, we're going to deliberately bend our knees and tuck our tailbone under. And then from there, push your hips up to the ceiling and fold in on yourself. Bend your knees and soften. Push your feet and fold. Bend your knees and soften. Straighten your legs and fold. Last one, bend your knees and soften. Push your legs straight, fold in. Bend your knees and soften, and then come all the way down onto your mat into 4-point kneeling. Okay, so knees underneath your hips, wrists underneath your shoulders. And in a cat stretch, head tucks in, tailbone tucks under. Hold the shape. And then let it come back through to flat back. And then we'll do that again. Tailbone under, head tucks in. Take an inhale, and on the exhale, let your abdominals draw inwards. Let it come through to flat back. And let's do that again. Tailbone tucks under, head tucks in. We've got a cat stretch. Okay, hold the cat stretch. Push into the floor with your hands to push your hips up and back over your heels. So it's not on the heels. So we're not sitting right down. We're tucking the tailbone under and pulling back over the heels. Stay back here and roll your pelvis through to flat back. And then bring your body weight forward back to where you started. Tailbone under. Sitting up and back into angry cat. Roll the pelvis through into neutral. And then track forwards. Tailbone tucks under, head tucks in, up and back into angry cat. Rolling it through and coming forwards. Let's have 2 more like this. Let's make it flow. Cat stretch, angry cat. Roll it through, track it forward. Last one, cat stretch, angry cat. Roll it through, track it forwards. And from there, take one of your hands through for thread the needle. So if you feel your body will allow, you can put your shoulder right down on the mat. And then you'll come back up. And then go the other way. And come back up. Let's do that one more time each side. And coming back up. Last one. And coming back up, sitting back into a child's pose, just to take the weight off your wrists for a moment. And whip your hands around to one side for a side stretch. And then switch. And then coming back to the center, and we're back up into 4-point kneeling. And from here, we're going to begin with arm slides. So one of your arms reaching and then coming back. And then the other one reaching overhead and coming back. All right, let's time a breath with this. Let's have an exhale as your arm reaches, and I want you to try and empty all the air out, and then inhale as you bring your arm back. We're going to reach away, and then breathe out here, and then bring your hand back. There's your inhale. Exhale, reach, and then breathe out. And bring your hand back. Exhale, reach and breathe out. Inhale the arm back. Do the other side. As you breathe out, draw your abdominals in and up behind your heart. Low tummy lifted up behind your heart. And then change sides. You inhale here. Exhale into that reach. Okay, when you feel ready, if you want to make it harder, as one arm reaches, the other leg is going to reach. And then they'll both come back in. Let's just practice the movement first before we try and add any breath. So we've got opposite arm and leg. So we're going to be inhaling in this quiet point in the middle. And then as the arm and leg reach, we breathe out. Inhale it all back down. Exhale the other side. Inhale it all back down. Exhale the other side. Inhale it down. Exhale as you reach. Inhale it down. Here's your last one. Exhale into that reach. Bring your hands back underneath you. Sit back into a child's pose so your knees are wide. Take a little rest. Take the weight off your wrists. And then for the second sequence here, the forearms are going to come down. So maybe like this. And reach one of your legs out behind you. Doesn't matter which one, as you can remember which one. And then you'll take your leg up on a diagonal. So it's kind of on the same line as your torso. We're going to try and hold the thigh bone there. And then we fold in for a hamstring curl. Just breathing naturally for this section. Let's have 4 more. And 3. And 2. We're going to hold on this bend and then push the foot up to the ceiling for a donkey kick. And we're going to create the push on our exhale. So it's a little bit like blowing out a candle so that the airflow helps you find your low tummy connection. 2 more. Last one. And then let that leg come down. Sit back into another child's pose. Breathing naturally here. And then we're going to come back out and do the other side. So sliding your leg away, lifting it up onto that long diagonal, bending in to start with. So this first set is just with natural, rhythmical breath, nothing too specific. Pushing your forearms down into the mat to push your rib cage in and up. Pushing your forearms down into the mat to push your head up into alignment. So those busy arms are doing things. Okay, 2 more. Last one, you're going to bend that knee in and hold, and now we've got the donkey kicks to the ceiling with the breath. Okay, so breathing out as you push. Four, 3, last one. Knee comes in, knees go wide, sit back into another child's pose. Reach your hands quite far away down the mat for this one. Try and really sink down into your hip sockets. And then when you're ready, I'm going to turn around. And now you're going to be sat roughly in the middle of the mat. And from there, hands on the sides of your knees, and you're going to roll all the way down. And then support the back of your head with your hands. So we're not going to put the head on the ground. It's lifted for this. And from here, we're going to go straight into some knee floats. A little bit of a fidget is fine. And my own personal fidget is me trying to get the back of my low ribs, that's better, right down onto the ground. So I want to feel that contact with the floor, the lowest 4 sections of rib cage, pushing down into the ground to push my head up. My head is resting in my hands, my neck is pretty relaxed, and my rib cage is finding the ground and pushing down on that. Take one leg up and hold. Bring the other leg up too. If your back will allow, squeeze your legs together. And then see if you can find those lowest 4 ribs as they press into the floor. Let your head lower down a little bit, pull it back up. Lower down. Push the ribs to come back up. Lower. Push the ribs down to come back up. Focusing on the back body as it meets the ground. Let's have a few more. And 2. And on this one, you're going to hold up here. Straighten your right leg. Bring it back down. Straighten your left leg. Bring it back down. Single leg stretch. Beginner level of this ab sequence. Back of the ribs pushing down. Couple more. And then from there, both legs go up to the ceiling and back down. Again, this beginner level of the ab sequence. Double leg stretch. Two more. And then we keep the legs up in the air, so up we go when we hold. And then the smallest split. Back together and split. Back together, split. This is scissors. And again, coming at it from this beginner level challenge. So it should feel challenging as we go through the shape. All right, let's find those breaths. Inhale, exhale all the air out. Inhale, all the air out. 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Both knees in. Give yourself a hug. Feet down. Take your feet wide on the mat. You put your hands by your sides and your head down. I'm going to keep my hands under my head because I've got a microphone on my head. I just have to kind of like pay attention to that. But you'll be completely fine with your arms by your sides and your head down. And we're going to drop both knees to the side. And then back up. And both knees to the other side. And come back up. Dropping over. Coming back up. Last one, dropping over. Coming back up. Feet back in so that they're about hip width apart. Lean to the side and push yourself back up to seated. Sit in the middle of the mat. Take both arms out in front. Spine stretch forward. Uncurl all the way back up. So we've got some choices here. The arms can either be at this height, in line with your ears, giving you some guidance so that your head doesn't drop too much, or you can bring your hands down onto the floor and let them slide away. Or if neither of those work for you, it is fine to improvise a little bit and put your hands wherever they need to be. The shape will roughly stay the same. I'm going to do this one, chin to chest, and reach forwards. Inhale all the way back up. All right, we're going to try and exhale all the air out, breathing out. Inhale all the way back up. Let's have 2 more like this. Inhale all the way up. Last one. Inhale all the way back up and then let your arms come down. Your legs are going to come back together. And one of your legs, maybe your right one, will fold in. So I've got one straight leg, one bent leg. And now I'm going to do a hamstring stretch. I'm going to let myself fold forwards, roughly over the straight leg. If you're off to one side, it's okay. And then coming back out of that, take that bent leg, cross it over the straight one, give it a bit of a hug. And I like to begin this set with a rock. So as you rock, you're kind of getting this sensation that you could be pulling soft tissue from right around the back of your pelvis, giving it to your leg, so it's got a little bit more to work with. And then the rocking is going to stop, and I'm going to sit myself upright and see if I can use my sit bones to push me around the corner. And the spine really does like to follow the eyes. So let your eyes guide your spine about where to go. Find something to look at. And then coming back in. Change legs. So we've got one straight leg, one bent leg. We begin with a forward bend. And then coming out of that, crossing your leg over, giving it a hug, starting off with the rock, just checking in with this side. What does it feel like compared to the other? And then the rocking will stop. You'll try and sit up tall, sit bones underneath you. Breathe yourself around the corner. So those inhales can really help push you around. Coming all the way back, giving your legs a little bit of a shake. And then we've got a wide seat, kind of fold forwards. And the trickiest bit with this is trying to allow your body weight to drop, even when your legs are screaming at you. Getting your sit bones to feel like they're escaping out behind you. If you need to come up a bit, that's okay. Otherwise, walk your hands around to one of the legs. Trying to keep your opposite sit bone down as you reach on the angle. And then back around to the other side. Trying to find your sit bone contact with the opposite side of your hip. So it's right over there, sit bone pressing down. It pushes your low back long, and then maybe you'll be able to go a little bit further, or maybe not. And then all the way back up. Legs come back together again, give them a little shake. You come around, and then behind you. Toes curled under, and stretch the soles of your feet. So use your own body weight to lean back over those feet so that you can feel that stretch. And you won't just feel it in the soles. It'll probably go up the back of the ankle and maybe into the calf a little bit as well. And then walking your hands towards you until you can get onto the soles of your feet to push your sit bones up. And then a forward bend, and then a roll all the way back up to standing. Take a moment to find my head. Get a little bit dizzy. And then from there, push down into your feet. The arms go up. Hold the balance. Breathe in. And as you breathe out, the arms come down, the heels come down. A shoulder roll, and an arm shake to finish. Well done. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Hair disaster. Anyway, who cares? Bye.